From their early years spent under Princess Diana's careful eye to their present positions as international celebrities, juggling fame, responsibility, and personal hardship, the world has been captivated by Prince William and Prince Harry's lives for decades. However, one member of the family, their stepsister, Laura Lopes, has been almost ignored. Laura, who was born to Camilla Parker Bowles from her previous marriage, was almost never seen in public, but much less seen next to the princes. Both Harry and William are now finally talking about their close relationship with the sister the world never truly knew existed in a rare and heartbreaking reveal. Their introspection provides an unexpected and personal look into the private life of a well-known public family. In the spotlight. The British royal family is undoubtedly one of the most famous families in the world. Whatever your background, you probably know the names of Kate Middleton, Meghan Markle, William, Harry, and Queen Elizabeth II, as well as their tragedies. Even though a large portion of their lives is public, they are protective of certain information. Few people are aware, for example, that Prince William and Prince Harry have a stepsister. This dynamic has its origins in the tumultuous marriage of Prince Charles and Lady Diana. Less than charming. When Diana and Prince Charles were married in one of the most well-publicized weddings ever, seen by millions of people worldwide, it all looked like the stuff of a fairy tale. The youthful princess, the majestic venue, and the exquisite ceremony showed the romance. But Prince Charming was nothing like Prince Charles, as it turned out. Even though he was married to Diana, he was more interested in someone else. This is where the narrative of Harry and William's secret sister comes in. The marriage was far from perfect behind closed doors. Bold. Camilla Parker Bowles was the issue. After their first meeting in 1971, Prince Charles and Camilla Parker Bowles quickly developed a close and intense friendship. Nobody could ever have predicted how profoundly this connection would influence future royal occasions. Their relationship never really waned, even though their romance lasted just a few years until they finally split up. Camilla married Andrew Parker Bowles, and Charles married Diana, but their lingering affections would soon reemerge, paving the way for heartbreak, controversy, and long-lasting effects. Three's a crowd. The royal marriage was not only strained by these lingering sentiments for Camilla Parker Bowles, but the appearance of a flawless relationship was also destroyed. Diana famously said, "There were three of us in this marriage, so it was a bit crowded," in an open 1995 interview with the BBC. Her comment rocked the monarchy. Diana chose strength over quiet, yet no one would have faulted her for withdrawing from public life. She accepted her position and rose to fame as a well-liked worldwide icon. Nevertheless, she was unaware of the sorrow and heartache that were ahead. Pure of heart. Diana's legacy as the Princess of Wales will endure forever. She defied convention in this capacity by bringing a new dimension and warmth to the royal family via her charm and sensitivity. She took her responsibilities very seriously and quickly gained recognition for her broad charitable efforts, supporting causes ranging from landmine victims to AIDS awareness. She became a revered worldwide figure due to her compassion, which won hearts everywhere. Even more remarkable, however, was how she continued to be a loving and committed mother to her boys despite her increasing estrangement from Charles. Average mom. Diana and Charles had 2 kids together, but Diana approached parenthood in a novel and surprising way. She deviated from the royal custom by not depending only on nannies. Instead, she threw herself into parenting William and Harry, organizing their activities, driving them to school, and making sure they had as normal a childhood as possible. She was a very loving and committed mother. Diana, however, had always hoped to have a daughter. Because of this, Harry and William couldn't help but think about their mother's unmet desire when they thought of their secret sister. The end starts now. Nevertheless, in the early 1990s, Charles and Diana's marriage started to fall apart. Tensions reached a breaking point by the mid-1990s due to rumors, public pressure, and emotional distance. The couple formally divorced in 1996, bringing the fantasy to a heartbreaking end. This seemed to the outside world to be a royal disaster, a scandal never seen before in the monarchy. But there was still more heartache to come. In addition to shocking the world, What transpired would put Charles's long-kept secret closer to the public eye than it had ever been. Global tragedy. The world was shocked to learn that Princess Diana had been in a terrible vehicle accident on August 31, 1997. A familiar yet perilous aspect of Diana's life was that she was persistently trailed by photographers when she was in Paris, France. The vehicle she was traveling in drove through the Pont de l'Amour tunnel in a last-ditch effort to get away from the pandemonium and flashing cameras, but it fatally slammed into a pillar. It had a terrible effect. Hours later, Diana was declared dead after succumbing to her serious internal injuries despite rescue attempts. Candle in the wind. A profound feeling of sadness swept across the globe as the world went into shock. Thousands of mourners, many of whom stood in silence for hours, arrived in London to pay their respects. People left so many flowers outside Kensington Palace that they created a carpet that was 5 feet deep and ran along the gates. The sidewalks were littered with cards, candles, and loving messages. Diana's passing has impacted millions. While the nation grieved for their people's princess, Prince Charles faced a fresh round of criticism, scrutiny, and personal strife as a result of the tragedy. Getting back to business. Diana's 2 children, Harry and William, as well as their father, Prince Charles, attempted to gradually re-establish a sense of normality when the public funeral eventually ended and the country entered a period of private mourning. Despite the public's continual scrutiny, the young princes handled their loss with dignity. However, Charles made a startling remark that caught both his sons and royal admirers off guard just as things were starting to calm down. His choice would cause bewilderment, rage, and sentiments of betrayal, both inside his own family and across the nation. Rekindling the flame. Prince Charles made the unexpected and widely reported revelation in 2005 that he and Camilla were not only getting back together again, but were getting married. Princes William and Harry would now have a new stepmother, a lady directly associated with the disintegration of their parents' marriage, which caused varied responses to the news. The young princes naturally needed some time to adjust to Camilla's presence in their lives. However, Camilla brought with her still another revelation, who is the sister of Harry and William. You may be surprised by the response. Stepping in as a stepmother. Naturally, the prospect of someone else taking Diana's position caused uncertainty and even division among the British people as well as the rest of the globe. The relationships and public perception of the royal family underwent significant alterations as a result. After years of tribulation, Charles found satisfaction in the marriage despite the scandals surrounding it. William and Harry found some solace in the knowledge that their father was happy. Though they sent him their best wishes, many were still curious about the prince's true feelings for their new stepmother, Camilla. Wicked stepmother. The evil stepmother is not her. In an attempt to clear up any remaining misunderstandings and uncertainties, Harry said affectionately in a 2005 interview, "William and I adore her to bits." After seeing Camilla's quiet side and commitment, the public eventually warmed up to her and softened their position. However, Camilla's contribution to the royal family went beyond mere acceptance. She introduced new ties and an unexpected element that complicated the princes' lives and their family history. More than meets the eye. The fact that Camilla had 2 children from a previous marriage was often forgotten since everyone was so preoccupied with her. Harry and William's 2 step-siblings each contributed a distinct personality to the household. One of them took to the limelight quite easily and gained greater notoriety, while the other preferred a more sedate, private existence away from the spotlight. According to Prince Harry, Laura, Camilla's daughter, chooses to live a life away from the spotlight of royalty and cherishes her solitude. Prodigal son. Tom Parker Bowles, Camilla's son, has established a prosperous career in the culinary industry as a well-known food writer and critic. He has authored numerous highly regarded cookbooks and is a regular judge and guest on the BBC's MasterChef program. Tom further demonstrated his skill by contributing to Gordon Ramsay's well-liked series, The F Word. However, his sister has taken a much quieter route, staying out of the spotlight and maintaining a low profile. But why has she remained so enigmatic and private? Secret sister. Despite her ties to the royal family, Laura Lopes has made a conscious decision to minimize her presence in the spotlight and carefully protect her privacy. She usually prefers to keep a low profile, although she does occasionally attend high-profile events such as royal weddings or official parties. Her conscious choice to stay out of the limelight has a strong rationale. She wants to live a regular life free from the harsh glare that surrounds her family and the continual media scrutiny. Focus of the press. At the time of Charles and Diana's highly publicized marriage, Laura and Tom were still relatively young. Since their mother, Camilla, was formerly Charles's girlfriend, the kids were often in the limelight, which was challenging. Ordinary occurrences became public spectacles due to the intrusive and overwhelming attention given by the paparazzi and the media. Naturally, the siblings suffered much emotionally as a result of this ongoing strain and scrutiny, which shaped their childhoods in ways that most people can hardly comprehend. Hounded. In an attempt to get even a fleeting sight of the Parker Bowles family going about their day, the paparazzi would often set up camp outside their home for hours on end. Private moments became public spectacles due to their persistence and invasive presence. Photographers created hazardous circumstances by pursuing the family's vehicle through crowded, bustling traffic on many occasions. This violent chase was a terrifying reminder of the worst aspects of celebrity and media fascination, mirroring the terrible events that had resulted in Princess Diana's death in a vehicle accident. Retribution. At one point, Tom told the Mail rather frankly, "Half of these people are bullies, and they enrage you. I just want to beat the living daylights out of them and slap them in the face." But you couldn't do that. His annoyance and rage were evident, indicating the tremendous strain they were under. However, his sister's response was very different. She chose to remain calm and discreet rather than confront him, keeping her distance and preventing the issue from escalating. Withdrawn. She consciously chose to distance herself from the limelight, avoiding the scrutiny that so often accompanied her family name. In an otherwise intensely monitored setting, this decision enabled her to preserve her privacy and feeling of normality. She did not, however, physically or emotionally separate herself from her family as a result of her withdrawal from the world of celebrity. Instead, she maintained her closeness and support, cherishing her ties with loved ones while carefully keeping her private life private. Ties that bind. Camilla freely acknowledged that without her family's steadfast support, she would not have been able to handle the intense attention that came with her marriage to Charles. The affection and devotion of those closest to Camilla gave her the courage, despite the unrelenting paparazzi stalking and the unjust criticism she often received from newspapers. Blood is thicker than water, as they say. Laura hasn't always had an easy or pleasant relationship with the royal family, however. Prince Harry recalls how his elder brother, William, was deeply affected by the underlying conflict within their family. Terrible fights. The two brothers used to have terrible fights over who was to blame for their broken homes, according to author and royal journalist Katie Nichols' book, Harry and William. The emotional arguments were fierce and very personal. Laura would become enraged because William would hold Camilla accountable for all the harm she had caused their mother. She was very protective and would not keep quiet, retaliating against William with scathing remarks such as, "Your father has ruined my life." These exchanges brought to light the complex and unfiltered feelings that existed inside the mixed family. Blaming Charles. "Why don't you stop calling Mummy and leave our family alone?" Laura would yell down the handset when Charles called Camilla at the family home in Wiltshire, Nicholl wrote. However, this heated exchange was only one of many intense family feuds that have marked the royal family's complicated history. She couldn't care less that it was the Prince of Wales. She held him responsible for breaking up her parents' marriage and wasn't afraid to express her anger directly to William. Sibling rivalry. In an attempt to identify the source of the anxiety that many people felt but were unable to comprehend completely, reporters persistently probed the whirling turmoil and whispers around the royal family. It quickly became apparent that a significant source of tension was a long-standing argument between Harry and William, the two princes. The brothers had always maintained a powerful kinship, despite the distance this caused, because of their shared childhood memories and the particular demands of royal life. Despite being put to the test, their bond remained strong, notwithstanding the familial strife. Brother against brother. Even though the two brothers were very close, bonded not just by blood, but also by their shared sorrow over their mother's passing, they began to drift apart. Tension between them increased as a result of their wildly different viewpoints and life experiences, which frequently led to arguments and emotional detachment. Unresolved conflicts simmered under the surface, but the public was unaware of the real reason for their disagreement. They were still awaiting the actual cause of their tense connection, which would provide fresh insight into the intricacies of their brotherhood. Changing the rules. The most significant source of skepticism and conjecture among the public and media was the notable departure from royal custom. The monarchy was rocked when Prince Harry and Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, decided to deviate from their traditional responsibilities and pursue their interests independently of the rest of the family. This extraordinary action revealed a deeper problem within the Windsor family. However, how severe and extensive was this rift? The Globe kept a careful eye on everything, curious to see how deep the split was. First home. Newlyweds Harry and Meghan first made their home at Kensington Palace, the regal and traditional royal palace. Meghan had a difficult time acclimating to this very different way of life. Still, she had the support of seasoned royal veterans, including courtiers and servants, who helped her navigate the intricate customs and demands of royal life. On the surface, everything looked normal throughout that first year, and everything seemed to go according to plan. But beneath the well-maintained exterior, problems began to surface subtly. Roaming the grounds. The exquisite homes of Princess Eugenie and the Duke and Duchess of Kent were quite near to Harry and Meghan's comfortable Nottingham cottage, forming a tight-knit royal community within the expansive palace grounds. In keeping with their senior position in the family, William and Kate luxuriated in a large 21-room residence across the vast estate. This closeness brought to light the complex network of connections and hierarchy that characterized Kensington Palace life, where modernity and tradition were constantly interacting. Moving. However, Harry and Meghan shocked everyone by declaring they had had enough of the charming Notcott, as Nottingham Cottage is often known, as the birth of their first child approached. They chose to move to Frogmore Cottage, a quaint and ancient home on the vast Windsor estate, in search of more room and seclusion to suit their expanding brood. They were able to relocate to a larger, cozier house that served as the ideal haven from the heavy media attention and busy city life. Making a new home. Nottingham Cottage underwent renovations right away, making the little two-bedroom house that had been Harry's bachelor pad a better place for growing a family. Even with the improvements, it is evident that a transfer was required due to the cottage's small size. Meanwhile, media outlets enthusiastically conjectured about the legitimate reasons for the move, often implying that latent hostility and familial conflicts were the primary causes of Harry and Meghan's departure. This contributed to the public's continued interest and discussion of the couple's status in the royal family. Growing older. The underlying coldness in the family remained even as the relationship developed into a loving marriage and a baby was on the way, bringing happiness and optimism. As other family members started to address Harry with William's worries and criticisms openly, tensions only became more strained. The brothers' coldness became more noticeable and more problematic to ignore rather than lessening. For many onlookers, this raised a crucial question. Why, despite the family's best times, did these conflicts continue to worsen? The real reason. At last, the actual reason for the transfer came to light. According to reports, there was constant conflict in the Windsor family from the beginning of Meghan and Harry's romance. From the beginning, the tension was evident. Following their first encounter at Kensington Palace, William pulled Harry aside for a somber and private discussion about his prospective sister-in-law. The underlying worries and uneasiness that would eventually mold the brothers' relationship and affect family relationships in the years that followed were reflected in this pivotal moment. Brotherly concern. It soon became clear to William that Harry and Meghan were deeply in love and eager to be married. William, who was worried about how quickly their bond was developing, suggested that his younger brother take his time and carefully weigh the ramifications. He conveyed his concerns about their hasty entry into such a significant commitment, fearing that the demands of royal life, coupled with a hasty engagement, might be too much for them to handle. His prudence sprang from his desire to shield Harry from future heartache and unanticipated difficulties. Concerns about his partner. According to a close source, William told his brother they knew very little about Meghan's background, her true intentions, and what she was really like. Prince William was unable to conceal his worries about Meghan's unknowns and the possible dangers despite his cautious and kind demeanor. However, his remarks struck a chord with Harry, who was deeply in love and was offended by what he saw as skepticism rather than a means to reduce tensions. The brothers' increasing distance from one another began with this argument. The reason for concern. He just wanted to stress that becoming part of the royal family is a massive undertaking, filled with constant pressure and unrelenting public scrutiny, the insider, a trusted member of the royal court, said in a more detail about William's reservations. William said, "Is Meghan the right person for such a demanding life? It's not something to be taken lightly." The genuine concern, however, was how Harry, who had strong emotions for Meghan, would respond to his elder brother's careful caution. Defending the damsel. Harry disagreed with William's cautious advice at all. He saw his elder brother's worries as a direct insult to the lady he loved, rather than as wise counsel. In addition to constant media attention and strain from her own family, Meghan was already dealing with a great deal of public scrutiny and conjecture. Harry believed that these difficulties only strengthened his resolve to support Meghan and protect her from detractors, demonstrating his steadfast devotion and dedication. Protecting the family. For a long time, the public was unable to determine the reliable cause of the Windsor family's hostility against Meghan. However, Meghan's father, Thomas Markle, and her half-sister, Samantha, spearheaded a flurry of public criticism that undoubtedly caught the House of Windsor off guard, making things even more problematic. Their public statements and media appearances exacerbated the already tense situation. However, what underlying problems underpin this royal drama, and why did these familial disputes flare up so publicly? Who is she? Some speculated that the royal family's lack of interest in Meghan may have stemmed from more serious problems, such as race. After all, she is biracial, having a white father and a black mother. Some detractors suggested that unconscious prejudices and uneasiness may have contributed to the uncertainty surrounding her position in the family. Furthermore, others questioned whether the Windsors truly knew Meghan or whether they were suspicious of her celebrity status and independence outside of conventional royal conventions due to her past life in the limelight as a famous actress. Not just acting the part. However, Meghan and Harry remained steadfast in the public eye despite criticism and scrutiny. The pair put up a unified face through every hardship, their intense love and faithful support for one another evident to everyone. Meghan enthusiastically accepted her position despite William's purported concerns and the doubts of other members of the royal family. Undoubtedly, she was as much a part of the royal family as the other Windsors, dedicated to her work and Harry. Feeling sensitive. Insiders claim that Harry's steadfast advocacy of Meghan was primarily to blame for the family's turmoil. One person said that he had grown quite protective of Meghan, saying, "He will brook no criticism of Meghan." Due to his sensitivity, he often took criticism or negativity personally when it wasn't intended, which led to conflict and miscommunication. Some saw this emotional intensity, which came from love and loyalty, as a cause of conflict, making it difficult for the family to manage its already complicated dynamics. Not letting it happen again. A close courtier said, "I think Harry feels he couldn't shield his mother from the constant public criticism and media scrutiny, So now he's going all out to protect his wife at any cost. Princess Diana was constantly criticized in the media for everything she did, receiving harsh criticism and intrusive coverage. To prevent history from happening with Meghan, Harry, who was severely damaged by those upsetting recollections, fought to protect her from the same type of unrelenting attention and cruel treatment. A new position. The Queen's choice of Harry as youth ambassador to the Commonwealth fueled the already simmering friction amongst the Fab Four. Many people viewed this esteemed position as a great honor and duty, and it is said that William felt deeply hurt and ignored when he was passed over for it. William wasn't disappointed, but he showed control by not protesting or interfering with the appointment. But the choice made the already tense relationship between brothers and their spouses much more complicated. As a team. However, many loyal royal supporters brushed aside any reports of familial strife, thinking the media was inciting controversy for dramatic headlines. But when reporters publicly asked the Fab Four whether they ever disagreed, the truth came to light. William broke the awkward quiet with a direct and empathetic, "Oh yes," indicating that there were conflicts and tensions behind the well-preserved public persona. His candid disclosure offered the public a unique glimpse into the inner workings of the family. Testing their ties. The two couples giggled nervously, trying to dispel the tension in the room. Harry forced a grin as he assumed the role of someone who asked if their arguments were ever settled. He joked, "We don't know," in a light-hearted yet revealing tone. The crowd laughed, but the moment was not forgotten. It was evident that some tension had crept into the brothers' previously strong friendship behind the humor and cheerful banter. Even though they were minor, the fractures were starting to emerge to those who were watching. Teaming up. The complex and much-questioned relationship between Kate and Meghan, the two duchesses, exacerbated all of these underlying tensions. Meghan clung to the notion that the Duchess of Cambridge would become a friend and ally when she first joined the royal family. Meghan sought support from Kate as an outsider negotiating a centuries-old institution. However, their connection was characterized by formality, cultural differences, and misunderstandings that only served to widen the rift among the royal family rather than fostering an immediate affinity. A not-so-warm welcome. Kate was simultaneously engrossed in her rigorous royal responsibilities and family life when she became pregnant with Prince Louis, her third child. It makes sense that she didn't fully embrace the unwritten duty of helping her new sister-in-law navigate the challenges of life in the royal family. She wasn't as accessible as Meghan had anticipated due to her limited time and attention to her small children. The tension only increased when Meghan, feeling alone and under constant public scrutiny, saw Kate's cold and restrained manner as a purposeful insult. Public figures. Reporters and royal observers, however, couldn't help but wonder whether the friction between Kate and Meghan was genuine. Were they courteous rivals, true pals, or something far more nuanced? Despite not being descended from royalty, Kate Middleton and Meghan Markle soon rose to prominence as two of the most well-known and closely watched members of England's most renowned royal family. The media analyzed every look, public appearance, and subtle gesture they exchanged, sparking numerous discussions about their relationship and the roles each lady played within the monarchy's constantly scrutinized walls. Debuts. On Christmas Day in 2017, Meghan and Kate made their first public appearance together as they walked to church at Sandringham side by side with their boyfriends. Even though they grinned for the cameras, it is evident that their origins and the routes they took to become members of the royal family were significantly different. Raised in a conventional English environment, Kate had been assimilating into the royal life over many years. American humanitarian and actress Meghan came on the scene with a bang. They seemed to be from two very different worlds in many respects. Humble beginnings. Kate was not born into the aristocracy, but she did come from a stable and somewhat affluent family. The family lived well thanks to the prosperous party supply business, Party Pieces, which her parents, Michael and Carol Middleton, owned and controlled. After receiving a top-notch education and Growing up in a nurturing home, Kate went on to attend Scotland's renowned University of St. Andrews. She met Prince William there, and their friendship quickly developed into a heartwarming romance that captivated the globe. Wedding schedule. William and Kate ultimately decided to get married in 2011 after over 10 years of turbulent dating. The following year, in 2011, they had a lavish wedding that the media nicknamed the Wedding of the Century. Kate formally became the Duchess of Cambridge in front of the whole world. It's interesting to note that Meghan Markle married someone outside of the royal family that same year. A whole new chapter in her life began at that time when she married film producer Trevor Ingleson. First try. But Meghan wasn't married to a royal, at least not initially. Then, in 2011, the Los Angeles native, a budding Hollywood star, married actor and producer Trevor Ingleson. Far from the glitz of royal weddings, the pair married on a relaxed Jamaican beach. However, the stress of long-distance travel and different paths took a toll on Meghan as her acting career, especially her role on the TV show Suits, began to take off. An important turning point was reached when their marriage discreetly dissolved in divorce only 2 years later. Suit Up. Meghan had few appearances in movies and television throughout her early Hollywood career, including a memorable stint modeling briefcases for the game show Deal or No Deal. Although she gained exposure from those early assignments, she didn't get any long-term notoriety. When she was cast as Rachel Zane in the popular American legal program Suits, everything changed. Meghan swiftly gained popularity among fans as a creative and driven paralegal, and the success of the program thrust her name into the public eye and the respect of the business. Rising star. Meghan's personal life took an equally remarkable turn as her profession started to rise to new heights. A mutual acquaintance set up what would turn out to be one of the most talked about blind dates in contemporary history in 2016, bringing Prince Harry and Meghan together. Despite the vast disparity between their worlds, sparks flew almost instantly, and their bond grew rapidly. At first, the couple's connection developed in secret, but soon after, the media learned of their affair, and their once private bond became a public spectacle. The Big Break. Meghan was invited to Kate's 35th birthday celebration, a noteworthy milestone event in the royal circle, shortly after their relationship grew more serious. Although the details of Meghan's first impression of the royal family are still largely unknown and shrouded in secrecy, many people believe she had a positive impact. We do know, however, that Meghan sent Kate a beautifully bound dream notebook as a considerate gift. This thoughtful and intimate gift revealed a sincere attempt to foster camaraderie and connection among the family. Coming in from the outside. Additionally, the two ladies would soon have the opportunity to further their relationship. Harry and Meghan married in an extravagant, well-reported wedding in 2018, so William and Kate's well-known marriage wouldn't surpass them. Meghan, a foreign and mixed-race lady, became a formal member of the House of Windsor with her wedding, making it a historic occasion. Her entrance marked a new chapter in the royal family's history, accompanied by both excitement and controversy. The start of something new. Now that Kate and Meghan were well established in the royal family, everyone was watching to see how the two sisters-in-law would handle their relationship. Both the media and the general public were curious to know whether they would become distant adversaries or close pals. According to subsequent insider reports, their first encounters were somewhat uncomfortable and had a rough start. In the face of rigorous scrutiny of royal life, it became evident that developing a solid relationship would require time and effort due to subtle tensions caused by differences in background, personality, and expectations. Pregnancy under strain. The physical strain of pregnancy and the constant public scrutiny that comes with being a senior royal caused Kate a great deal of stress when she was expecting Prince Louis. She had little time or energy left over after juggling pregnancy checkups, preparing for the arrival of a new baby, and managing her existing royal responsibilities. Amid these difficulties, Kate may not have been able to establish a deep bond with Meghan or completely accept her into the family. She continued to prioritize her expanding family and meeting her many responsibilities. Sisterly bonding. But Meghan took the effort to get in touch with Kate during this trying time, providing her with kind support and some insightful nutritional guidance that had brought her through her struggles. Throughout the rest of her pregnancy, Kate felt a sense of relief and comfort from this act of generosity. Kate returned the favor by offering assistance when Meghan had a significant problem of her own. Amid their hectic lives, these instances of mutual aid suggested that the two duchesses may be closer and more cooperative. Returning the favor. As Meghan moved from the fast-paced world of Hollywood to the formal, tradition-steeped setting of Buckingham Palace, she naturally had to adapt. She had a lot to learn about royal expectations and procedures because of the extreme difference between the two cultures. Thankfully, Kate, her seasoned sister-in-law, stepped in to help her navigate this challenging new life. From choosing the right outfit for different royal engagements to learning the subtleties of posture and manners at formal gatherings and public appearances, Kate carefully taught Meghan everything. Becoming friends. The two duchesses eventually developed a strong friendship after that. They strengthened their bond away from the spotlight by finding time to spend quality time together when their hectic royal schedules permitted. One special event was a laid-back weekend trip to Wimbledon, where they spent time laughing and having a great time. They shared laughs, hushed remarks, and encouraging grins throughout the exciting tennis match, revealing a more intimate and sincere aspect of their relationship that transcends the formality of royal responsibilities. A new invitation. Both personally and professionally, the royal sisters-in-law became closer. Kate took Meghan under her wing by asking her to join the Royal Foundation Forum after seeing her enthusiasm for philanthropic work. William and Harry formed this esteemed organization, which focuses on critical humanitarian concerns and community projects. By allowing Meghan to join this group, Kate gave her the chance to work on initiatives that complemented their shared goal of improving society and making a significant contribution to royal charity. Growing closer. Meghan's acceptance of this offer marked a significant and positive step toward her further integration into the royal lifestyle and its associated charitable responsibilities. According to a source close to the royal family, she admires how Kate has carved out her own distinct space, balancing impactful humanitarian work with the demanding role of being an amazing mother. Meghan was motivated to discover her purpose in the royal system by Kate's ability to balance her private family life and public responsibilities with dignity and commitment. Changes on the horizon. No one greeted Meghan's pregnancy announcement with more fervor than Kate did in late 2018. The Duchess of Cambridge was truly thrilled about the opportunity to accompany Meghan on the special path of parenthood, imagining times of companionship, support, and shared experiences. Kate was excited about this new chapter in their life. Still, she was unaware of the other significant obstacles and changes that were subtly but surely coming, changes that would eventually alter family dynamics and put their relationship to the test in unexpected ways. A new home. Harry and Meghan made the big choice to leave Kensington Palace, where they had resided among other senior royals, only months before the expected birth of their first child. They decided to move into Frogmore Cottage, a quaint and ancient house on the grounds of Windsor Castle, in search of more seclusion and room. This physical separation from the immediate royal family marked the beginning of a new chapter in their lives together, as the couple first lived under different roofs. Some distance. As the physical distance between their houses grew, it was inevitable that Meghan and Kate would see each other less after moving to Frogmore Cottage. Nevertheless, their everyday responsibilities as mothers and duchesses were sure to encourage them to maintain their relationship. As their children grew up together, both ladies recognized the importance of maintaining a supportive relationship. They were dedicated to fostering their relationship and the camaraderie between their families by making time for each other whenever possible. Part of the whole. Despite their occasional disagreements or miscommunications, Kate and Meghan are both aware of the particular challenges associated with marrying into one of the most well-known families in the world. Notwithstanding their disagreements, They recognize that helping and encouraging one another ultimately makes them stronger. The Duchesses understand the importance of sticking together as they navigate the responsibilities of public life, royal customs, and intense media attention, which can be alienating. They have learned from their everyday experiences that standing together is advantageous for their families, the causes they support, and themselves. The first meeting. Ultimately, belonging to the royal family is a challenging task. Due to the tremendous public attention, every word, every action, and most importantly, every connection is constantly scrutinized. When Meghan first met Prince Harry, she had direct knowledge of this reality. She soon discovered that royal life came with difficulties few outsiders could imagine, where privacy is limited and expectations are very high after being abruptly pushed into a society full of tradition, convention, and unwavering media scrutiny. Blind date. The beginnings of most well-known love stories are often depicted as fairy tale-like, filled with sweeping passion and lavish gestures. But Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's journey started in a very different way. It all started with a straightforward blind date set up by a friend of theirs. Meghan didn't know much about Harry at the time, including his royal ancestry or the heightened attention that came with being a member of the British royal family. The foundation for an incredible adventure was laid by their first encounter, which was a sincere bond between two individuals from quite different cultures. Awkward. Meghan openly said to the BBC in an interview that she didn't know anything about him, so the first question she asked before our blind date was, "Well, is he nice?" Harry, on the other hand, had never even heard of Meghan Markle before that night, so he was just as unprepared for their meeting. A mixture of trepidation and fascination characterized the first encounter, which resulted in an uncomfortable but unforgettable beginning to one of the most talked about relationships in recent royal history. Getting to know you. On their blind date, however, the two ended up getting along unexpectedly well. A few weeks later, Harry made a significant move that signaled the start of their growing relationship. He asked Meghan to accompany him to Africa on a charity tour. The prince recalls, "It was essential to me to make sure that we had an opportunity to get to know each other away from the spotlight." They were able to deepen their relationship while doing worthwhile work by connecting on a more intimate level on that trip. Under wraps. The pair deftly avoided the constant media scrutiny that often surrounds anybody associated with the royal family by keeping their developing romance under wraps for many months. However, reports of their courtship eventually surfaced in late October 2016, sparking global interest and speculation. Harry had been desperate to keep the relationship quiet, according to palace insiders, to shield Meghan from the intense public attention and maintain their solitude during those early, vulnerable moments. A subtle hint? Then, on the day that the world learned of their relationship, Meghan shared a humorous image of two bananas on Instagram that seemed to be spooning. Fans and the media were immediately drawn to the oddball photo, which raised questions about whether Meghan was using it as a playful and sly way to confirm the rumors. Her personality, brash, funny, and unafraid to add a little humor to the generally somber and closely watched realm of royal romance, was evident in the playful gesture. A different kind of gossip. The tabloids quickly gorged themselves on every single scrap of salacious rumor about Meghan and Harry's romance. Due to her acting profession, Meghan was accustomed to being in the limelight. However, the constant media attention that accompanied her association with the British royal family presented a wholly different and far more stressful experience. Rumors spread like wildfire, paparazzi thrived on catching every moment, and the pressure to project a perfect public persona became unbearable. Meghan's fortitude was put to the test in unexpected ways by this increased degree of scrutiny. Unprepared. In an interview with the BBC, the actress openly said, "There was a misconception that this would be something I would be familiar with. In reality, however, I have never been part of a tabloid culture or subjected to the intrusive media attention that often accompanies being associated with royalty. I've led a relatively tranquil life, concentrating on my work and personal development far away from the constant rumors and conjecture that the tabloids feed off of. This admission highlighted the difficulties she was having adjusting to her new circumstances. Going too far. In their desperate search for inside information, the media became more and more unrelenting in their efforts to get a scoop on the newest royal romance. They even went so far as to harass Meghan's mother, often contacting her with intrusive inquiries and fostering a hostile, stressful situation for her. It soon got intolerable due to the persistent invasion and disregard for privacy. Harry eventually reached the point where he decided he could no longer tolerate the hostile media tactics and was committed to defending Meghan and their relationship. A royal decree. In a formal statement issued by the royal house, Prince Harry expressed his sincere desire for the constant harassment of Meghan Markle to stop immediately. The statement said, Prince Harry is concerned about Miss Markle's safety and well-being. This infrequent but significant comment highlighted the seriousness of the issue and Harry's will to defend the woman he loved. It is not right or fair that Miss Markle should be subjected to such an overwhelming and unrelenting storm of media intrusion and public scrutiny. Royal backup. Prince Harry's royal statement provided a brief respite from the sea of stories and rumors, helping to moderate the intense media frenzy. But soon after, fresh allegations surfaced indicating that Prince William was dissatisfied with the way things were developing and with his brother's public demeanor. The Duke of Cambridge released a well-crafted statement to explain his stance and diffuse tensions because he felt compelled to address the circulating rumors and preserve family harmony. Brotherly support. A portion of the well-written statement that was made public said, "The Duke of Cambridge understands the situation concerning privacy and supports the need for Prince Harry to stand by and protect those closest to him." Many were left wondering what this newfound understanding would imply for the brothers' relationship going ahead, even if the message seemed conciliatory and intended to ease the mounting tensions. Would it signify the start of reconciliation or the emergence of more serious underlying problems? Unconventional. In the end, it became evident that although Harry's direct appeal to the media was deemed off-brand and unusual for a royal family member, his family members did not object to his fervent support of Meghan. They were aware of the particular difficulties she was facing and Harry's desire to shield her from the unrelenting barrage of publicity. But Meghan's network of family support would not end there. As the pair worked through the challenges of royal life together, she would continue to have both public and private assistance. Greatest supporter. As the focus switched to more good news by the end of 2016, Harry's short but audacious publicity blip had all but disappeared. When it was revealed that Queen Elizabeth had personally approved Meghan, the royal family and the general public were in a frenzy. This royal support marked a significant turning point, as it gave Meghan a sense of acceptability at the highest level and secured her place within the monarchy. As she readied herself to become a member of the royal family, what more could she possibly want with such a potent blessing? Happy grandmother. The Queen holds a special place in her heart as one of Prince Harry's staunchest supporters, in addition to being the current Queen of the United Kingdom. The Queen is genuinely delighted to see Harry in a loving and committed relationship, a royal family source told Us Weekly. The monarch's endorsement carried significant weight within the family and the public, reflecting her happiness for her grandson's newfound joy and her hope for a bright future together. Seeing her his way. Meghan gave a personal assessment of her time with the Queen and spoke fondly about her experiences with her. In a BBC interview, she said, "It's amazing to be able to meet her through Harry's lens." Because of this distinct viewpoint, Meghan was able to see the Queen as both a cherished family member and a ruler, which allowed for a closer and personal understanding. Their developing relationship made Meghan feel encouraged and accepted in the often formal and secluded royal setting. Travel plans. Meghan said thoughtfully, not only with his honor and respect for her as the monarch, but the deep love he holds for her as his grandmother, she's truly an incredible woman. Despite spending Christmas apart in 2016, the pair happily reunited for a romantic New Year's Eve celebration not long after. Harry and Meghan had a sense of liberation now that their covert relationship was public knowledge, enabling them to visit Norway together without fear of unintentionally disclosing their connections to the curious public or media. Sleigh bells or wedding bells. The captivating northern lights, with their glistening hues dancing across the dark sky in a dramatic display of nature's grandeur, were one of the magnificent and pure sights they saw on their romantic trip to the Arctic Circle. As the couple's connection grew stronger and their relationship became more serious, many closest to them began to believe that wedding bells were ringing on the horizon. The journey represented a fresh chapter full of love and promise, in addition to providing a stunning setting. Madly in love. The intricacies of Harry and Meghan's relationship were being kept very secret, but their close friends couldn't help but be excited too. A close friend of Harry's told Us Weekly, "I can see them engaged by the spring." The public got a glimpse of the couple's growing devotion and the excitement surrounding their future together when the source said, "He's head over heels in love." Those close to the couple felt that a significant event was imminent, despite their prudence. Meet the family. Harry was keen to include Meghan in his world and began introducing her to his close-knit family more often after their unforgettable vacation to Norway. Early in 2017, Harry took Meghan to Kensington Palace, where she first met Kate Middleton, marking one of the momentous occasions. Young Princess Charlotte was also introduced, providing Meghan with an early glimpse into life in the royal family and the significant role she would soon play in this illustrious and intricate circle. Getting along. Additionally, Meghan started spending more time with Prince William, with whom she reportedly forged a sincere and close bond, according to insiders. Any early difficulties within the family were reduced by their cordial and courteous interactions. One source said, "William is naturally very happy for his brother and supportive of the relationship." This strengthening of Meghan and William's relationship was seen as a sign of hope for the future, indicating that the royal circle was beginning to accept the couple's marriage. Introducing the in-laws. The actress kindly flew her mother, Doria Raglan, to London for a private meeting with the prince himself when it came time for Harry to meet Meghan's family. Anyone can understand how intimidating it is to meet your partner's parents for the first time, so both anxiety and excitement marked this critical encounter. Meghan saw it as a significant step in merging their lives, but on top of the typical anxiety that comes with meeting the parents, this encounter also bore the burden of royal scrutiny. Serious stuff. Harry must have been anxious about this crucial encounter, as he was aware of its importance on both personal and public levels. However, like Meghan and the rest of the royal family, he and Doria Raglan clicked immediately, engaging in cordial conversations and forming a sincere bond. Any early stress was swiftly reduced by their comfortable chemistry, which further demonstrated that this pair was meant to be. The basis for a robust and encouraging extended family was strengthened by Harry and Meghan's mother's natural affinity. Unseen father. Following that, Doria was often seen with Harry and Meghan attending family gatherings and public events, which further indicated her significant influence in the couple's lives. Harry hadn't yet had the chance to meet Meghan's father in person, however, despite their many exchanges. Meghan said, "He hasn't been able to meet my dad yet, but he has spoken to him on the phone a few times." There was more suspense and interest in how that entrance would ultimately unfold due to this lingering absence. Spending time together. The relationship between Harry and Meghan was stronger than ever at this period, even though they were still living apart legally. Meghan spent almost all of her leisure time in London, virtually living at Kensington Palace with Harry while she wasn't in Toronto shooting Suits. The couple's friends remarked on how easily she adapted to life as a princess and how organic their relationship seemed. The castle swiftly turned into Meghan's second home, strengthening their bond and indicating that a long-term romance was imminent. Official trip. Harry took Meghan on a date to Jamaica for one of his best friend's weddings, which was their next major excursion. The couple's laid-back and loving attitude, together with the tropical location, immediately grabbed headlines. Many royal insiders and observers saw this presence as the formal next stage of their developing romance. The public was further reassured by photos taken during the occasion that the couple was growing closer and that their future together seemed bright as they laughed, danced, and enjoyed each other's company. Speculation grows. When Meghan abruptly decided to down her well-known lifestyle website, The Tig, rumors about the relationship only became more intense. She published a wide range of content from recipes to life and health insights on the website, which served as a creative outlet for her. The timing sparked curiosity, even though Meghan clarified that she was taking a break to concentrate more on her charitable endeavors and changing obligations. By that point, rumors were already circulating that the couple's treasured relationship was about to undergo a significant change, maybe even an engagement. Causing a buzz. When Meghan took a plane to London a few days before Pippa Middleton's much-anticipated wedding, the situation became even more sensational. When she arrived, the media went into overdrive, with photographers and royal observers hoping to get a peek at her. Meghan reportedly avoided publicity and fueled speculations of her strengthening links to the royal family by being driven directly from Heathrow International Airport to Kensington Palace. Her understated but significant presence suggested that she was joining Harry's inner circle and was no longer only a visitor. More appearances. Unquestionably, Meghan's attendance at Pippa Middleton's wedding reception was a turning point in her relationship with Prince Harry, since it was the first time she had been seen at a formal royal family function. She has now firmly entered royal circles, as shown by her appearance. Shortly afterward, she was also seen smiling proudly while supporting Harry from the stands at the renowned Audi Polo Challenge in England. Meghan's performances on both occasions, which she attended with flawless grace, sparked rumors that an engagement announcement was undoubtedly on the horizon. Common interest. The pair then took another memorable vacation to Africa, a place that had great personal resonance for them both, to mark Meghan's 36th birthday. Those close to the couple understood it was an excellent match, even if it might have seemed like an unusual decision for a birthday trip, and some of their earliest and most intimate moments together had taken place in Africa. Many people believe that what truly strengthened their relationship throughout this emotional journey was their mutual passion for humanitarian work and helping those in need. Charity work. They made a moving visit to the original location of Harry's cherished charity, Sentebale, while they were there. The prince has a strong personal connection to the charity, which supports HIV-affected children and youth in Lesotho and Botswana. Sentebale, which means forget-me-not in the native Sesotho language, is a poignant tribute to Harry's late mother, Princess Diana. It was another step in strengthening his bond with Meghan to share this sensitive aspect of his life with her. Invictus. Meghan's public presence with Prince Harry underwent a significant shift in September 2017 when she made her first major royal appearance at the Invictus Games in Toronto. Harry started the event in 2014 to empower veterans and wounded, disabled, and ill service members via athletics and other physical activities. Widespread attention was drawn to Meghan's appearance in the stands, grinning happily and endorsing Harry. She was taking on a bigger, more significant role beside him rather than only being a spectator. Coming together. The games, which took place in Toronto, Meghan's home base at the time, were broadcast live on Entertainment Tonight. The pair were often seen holding hands in public, a rare and private act for royals, which demonstrated the depth of their love. The fact that Meghan's mother, Doria Ragland, was also there and silently cheered on her daughter from the stands added to the event's importance. Her appearance lent credence to the growing notion that the families were preparing to come together and that a royal engagement was imminent. Letting the cat out of the bag. Meghan finally spoke up after more than a year of growing rumors. She was stunning in a sophisticated picture session that captivated readers worldwide, and she graced the cover of the October edition of Vanity Fair. The actress shared a candid look at her turbulent relationship with Prince Harry in a rare and illuminating interview. Meghan confirmed what many had long assumed was the truth when she spoke openly about the difficulties of dating a royal under extreme media attention, while also highlighting their intense love and happiness together. Confessions of love. We are a pair. During the interview, Meghan said with genuine passion, "We're in love. I'm sure there will be a time when we will have to come forward and present ourselves and have stories to tell," she said, acknowledging the inevitable moment when they would need to enter the public eye fully. Her words struck a deep chord, indicating her readiness and resolve to face the intense spotlight alongside Harry while embracing their future together despite the challenges ahead. Love story. However, she said reflectively, "I hope people will realize that this is our moment. It's part of what makes it so special, that it's just ours, private and genuine." Meghan's voice grew softer with emotion as she continued. "This is for us." She emphasized their happiness and bond despite the scrutiny. With a bright smile, she said, "I love a great love story," implying that she and Harry had developed a lasting connection that went beyond public admiration and criticism. The big question. There was only one thing left for Harry to do now that the secret was out, and everyone was excited. In November 2017, at a beautifully orchestrated event, the Prince of Wales proposed and asked the much-anticipated question. Meghan said a passionate and sincere yes amid love and excitement. A new chapter in their incredible fairy tale relationship began with this. Public announcement. After Prince Charles released an official and sincere statement, news of the engagement swiftly spread around the globe. The declaration, which reflected the happiness and approval of the royal family, said, "His Royal Highness, the Prince of Wales, is delighted to announce the engagement of Prince Harry to Miss Meghan Markle." As the pair was ready to embark on their journey together toward marriage and royal life, the statement not only validated the eagerly awaited news, but also marked the beginning of a new era. Recounting the tale. The highly anticipated BBC interview with the pair was made public on the same day that Prince Charles formally announced their engagement. In the touching film, Harry and Meghan shared personal details of how their romance developed behind closed doors as they tenderly recapped the tragic night they had spent together in their comfortable Kensington cottage. Viewers were given a unique opportunity to witness the beginning of their love journey in front of the world as their genuine chemistry and passion were evident. A sweet moment. Harry started with a kind grin, establishing a relaxed atmosphere. "It was just a standard, typical night for us." After that, Meghan quietly added, "Just a cozy night, trying to roast a chicken," which brought intimacy and a hint of comedy to the situation. Harry went on, "It was just an amazing surprise, so sweet and natural and very romantic." Their mutual love and laughter depicted a momentous yet uncomplicated evening that signaled the beginning of something unique between them. Quick to answer. Meghan was ecstatic about the proposal, so much so that she happily accepted before Harry had even finished asking the question. With only the two of them having a unique private encounter, the moment was poignant and personal. "It was just the two of us, and I think I managed to catch you by surprise as well," Harry recounted with a warm grin. Their sincere joy and love were evident, making the engagement really wonderful and very intimate. The One. During their engagement picture session, Harry was asked when he knew Meghan was the one. He didn't think for a second before responding. "The very first time we met," he added with a genuine grin, his eyes brightening as he talked, demonstrating the strong bond he felt right away. Since then, he had been sure that Meghan was the one he wanted to live out the rest of his days with because of that first spark and that inexplicable emotion. The big day. Finally, on May 19, 2018, a stunning spring day, Harry and Meghan exchanged vows and were married at the storied Windsor Castle. Royals, celebrities, and dignitaries were among the magnificent guests who attended the event to witness a scene out of a fairy tale. It was one of the most watched and celebrated weddings of the year, with tens of millions of people watching from home, enthralled by the grandeur and love of the occasion. Substitute father. In a gorgeous, sophisticated Givenchy gown created by Claire Waite Keller, Meghan struck attention and won hearts with its flawless fusion of contemporary design and classic grace. A stunning diamond and platinum tiara, a cherished item from the Queen's royal collection, complemented her gown, giving her wedding ensemble a regal feel. Prince Charles kindly stepped in to guide Meghan down the aisle, signifying a warm welcome into the royal family because Meghan's father, Thomas Markle, was unable to attend due to health issues. The next announcement. On the 15th of October 2018, Harry and Meghan, now formally known as the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, announced that they were expecting their first child together. The public and the royal family were both excited by the announcement, and fans were looking forward to the birth of the newest little royal. It was anticipated that this priceless addition would enter the family sometime in the spring of 2019, ushering in a new era for the adored couple and the British monarchy. Succession. There will undoubtedly be a lot of excitement when the next prince or princess eventually shows up, but there could also be some disappointment. The possibility of becoming the future king or queen of England may not be particular, even if they have a royal birthright. The position of the new infant in the royal hierarchy will be carefully determined, as a complex line of succession has already been established and customary rituals are firmly in place. What place do they occupy in this centuries-old hierarchy then? Standing in line. When the child is born, they will instantly become the seventh successor to the British throne. Their father, Prince Harry, becomes behind their uncle, Prince William, and their grandpa, Prince Charles, in the line of succession. Prince William's three children, Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis, follow in the footsteps of these senior royals. The ancient line of succession, meticulously preserved over centuries of monarchy, is reflected in this fixed order, which decides who will eventually hold the throne. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe for more content like this. Thank you.
If you've watched the video till here, that means you've enjoyed the video. Subscribe. Don't forget to turn on the notifications bell icon